was I? What was it? I thought, well, being out in the woods in Newfoundland, that's what I'm talking about, really. It's a whole, I don't know, a culture worthy of study, one might say. There's a dress code, of course, when you're out in the woods. Talking a bit about that. Gore-Tex seems to be the fabric of choice for those hikers and kayakers and salmon fishermen. You gotta have Gore-Tex boot and the Gore-Tex hat and the Gore-Tex pants. Then, and only then, can you go walking out in the wilderness, which is harder and harder to find with, you know, all those Gore-Tex factories ringing up. Polar fleece. Now this is the, you know, you gotta get that zippy polar fleece there. This stuff, it is warm, does keep you nice and dry and warm. Staticky is the problem. You know, house cats fling across the living room and stick to you. Constantly scraping off squirrels as you're walking through the woods. Oh God, it's awful. Nah, there's some awful, like anything, there's always a certain amount of just garbage out there that you can buy for just walking, for instance. Now, just walking in the woods. You know, you find a trail. Don't even find a trail, just start walking. You'll get to the woods soon enough, right? No, you gotta have I've seen one, a collapsible walking stick. Now, you can make all sorts of fun about something meant for support, which was collapsible, but I'm not going to go there. I was down in Cape Breton before I came up, and there were a lot of, they were German tourists, actually, is what they were, and they all had these collapsible walking sticks. Now, oh my God, you know, you want to tell them, you know, I don't know what sort of an environment they come from, but they should know more about the environment they're coming into. Because one thing we do not have a shortage of in this country, in the woods, is sticks. You may want to bring along a saw to cut away the sticks which have fallen across the trail. There's no shortage of sticks. When you're out walking in what Canadians like to call the sticks. Something. Another one I'll probably leave at a future show. Sometimes they flop, sometimes they fly. Oh, my brochure, I told you. My God. One time I'll tell you, my salmon fishing started with Kevin Blackmore. Here's the story. First time I came down to Newfoundland was, God, it seems like it was 1970, so yeah, it was a long time ago. I came down to Memorial University of Newfoundland. Yeah, my first term I flunked out. Oh yes, my parents were pleased. And I got a job in Labrador City as a bricklayer's helper. If you would like to reproduce for yourself the excitement of this experience in the privacy of your own home, just, lie in your deep freeze and lift weights till you vomit, basically. Got fired from that. Yes. Immediately went to a bank to ask for a loan to start my career as a comedian. That's where I got my first laugh. Ran into a guy named Kevin Blackmore. Now, me and him, we started a little duo. We used to play around Newfoundland and Labrador, and it was little in bars mainly. But the name of our duo was Free Beer. And we were the Beatles of Botwood. It was, in retrospect, a great name for a starting out band, too, you know. You Gander, YQX Lounge, tonight, free beer. You're going to get a crowd. A rather ticked-off crowd. First couple of nights, you better be funny. Luckily, I had Kevin with me, so I was set with that. We also, the times we did have, we were up in places like, Red Bay, Newfoundland, Lancelot. Take the ferry across from St. Barb's, is it? St. Barb's Ferry? There you go. Remember, boys, they're not all gone. Well, I'm worried. Like 56, it's not just here that's not. Keep waiting for sort of some wisdom to occur that is going to mollify the fact that I'm getting older, and I don't know if it's going to happen. I think I might slip directly from relatively youthful ignorance into total senility with no intervening window. One night, I just wake up one morning equally confused, but for different reasons. Yeah, we actually did go salmon fishing once with Kevin, you know, we got all the gear just like you would, you had the vest all bristling with flies and the hat all bristling with flies and then you want to even go down the home valve and the double oscillated slide valve re-ejector. We were set. Now Kevin was fishing his pool and they sent me down. Dusk was falling and he sent me down to a further pool. I went downstream a bit. Now, as I say, it was getting dark, but I had my new waders on, had to try them out across the stream. I started walking back toward him and then well, it was getting hot with the vest. I took it off, and the vest got all fooled up behind me with the hooks. So I'm like this, and out of the dark comes this little sound. Just something bounces off my glasses. And you, yeah. Now, when you've been hooked by a salmon hook, the first obvious instinct is to do something. Kevin, you idiot! You've hooked me with a hook. But it's hard to say. When you've got it doesn't come out right. Hard to yell when you got a sound. Also, he can't hear me because he's going. Lorne, come here! I got a huge fish, boy. So I know what it feels like to be a salmon is hooked. It's an interesting sensation, too, I'll tell you that right away, you know? There's this, it's only like a 10-pound liter test between you and freedom, right? You should be able to just start, yeah, but you don't want it. You prefer to play it. Well, to make a long story short, it took them 40 minutes to land me. Lorne, you tried to eat my fish, didn't you? All in the interest of trying to get healthy. That's the trick at this age. You know, you just try to stay healthy, try to stay reasonably alive before it's time to walk out on the ice floes. But where the hell did that come from? I tried once again. What a stupid attempt to try to regain some sort of a youthfulness. I tried that snowboarding, and here's my advice: don't go snowboarding if you can do this. It's them youngsters, you see, that they invented that sport. Now, we didn't have it when we were growing up, and they've perfected it. They got a whole language and culture that surrounds it. Like, oh well, totally permeated that mogul. And I'm out in Banff Springs. My nephew was working at the hotel there. Went to visit him because we were touring out there. And I figured, well, you know, never snowboarded before. Start with the Rockies. Once again, I get all the gear. I go up to a group of kids on the hill there and try to fit in. Hey, you groovy hep cats, I said. So they dispersed. And it's too bad, because I got to use some of their advice. Like I said, I'd never snowboarded before. I'd skied maybe 6 or 7 times in my life, always near fatal. But the thing about skiing is that there's a fallback position, the snow plow. You know, you look like a dork, but you arrive alive. That's the first thing that strikes you when you start picking up speed on a snowboard, is the snow plow is completely out of the question. Both feet are welded onto the same plank. The way you're supposed to stop or slow down in front of some obstacle in front of you, say, oh, I don't know, a stump, is you go sideways toward that stump. So now you're going crotch first toward that obstacle, which is, to say the least, counterintuitive. But it actually works. Surprised the hell out of me. Whoa, missed that stump. So now I am peeling down that hill. I'm peeling down that hill. I'm thinking, pretty cool. Okay, now about a third of the way down the hill, they've hollowed out this little trough. I believe it's called a half pipe. if I'm not mistaken. It's like where real snowboarders go from side to side, a 540 Barrett, roll off inside edge, whoop-de-doodly-doo. Well, not me. Brought a whole new level of invention to that half pipe that day. Went through her like a pea through a shooter. You know? Which would have been fine, but at the end there was this little mogul, this little jump. So it was more like, zoom, bing. Now while I was in the air, I like to think there was a certain balletic grace to my voice. Even the kids were impressed, no? Old guy rules. Where did he buy those elbow flaps? It was an illusion of grace. Punctured somewhat by the fact that I was yodeling the Lord's Prayer. That version of I came and gone that last being a 100-yard slide upside down backwards on my face, only finally coming to a halt by the sheer amount of snow and ice accumulating under my eyelids. Certainly permeated that mogo. I'm all done. How you doing, Glenn?